Hi, Kalee. Welcome to the chat with BioSure. I just wanted to introduce Kalee Garland. She is the great, wonderful lady that is from the States, and she's otherwise known as AIDS Baby on Instagram. We're talking to her today for International Women's Day because we value Kalee in our industry as a very strong, powerful woman that has a very strong message to say about HIV. Kalee, welcome. Nice to meet
Thank
you
you.
finally. And I just wanted to get to introduce yourself and about who you are and why you use the term AIDS baby on Instagram and just a little bit more about your involvement with HIV.
So I started social media almost 3 years ago. I was born HIV positive in 1986, and I never had a social media ever in my life. I'm actually camera shy. Like I don't enjoy being in front of a camera, but I did get over that. And it was the eve of my 34th birthday, and I thought to myself, like, who am I? And I came to the username AIDS Baby 86 because it is who I am. I was born in 1986 with HIV and I'm undetectable. And there's terminology like 86 means like get out of here, it's not here. So I wanted to have a provocative name to just really share my story and get it out there. Um, I grew up in the 90s, and the first pandemic was HIV and everyone was scared, and I just got to watch people be scared and project. And I was just a little girl, and I am no longer a little girl, and I want to live for my younger self. So that's one of my main missions, is to get talking and get other people's stories out there, because I want to create a nice space in the world for children. I work with children, and I see myself in children, and I think that we need to see each other in one another, because you know I really love the Ram Dass quote. We're all just walking each other home, like, so much. Like, we're all here learning, and it's like we need each other. Like, we all have stories and tips and tricks for each other. And I fully understood that social media is an avenue for that. So is took the bull by the horns and started it.
Amazing. So I think, we've obviously done a little bit of work with you because we just felt that you had such a powerful voice in our industry, and especially because you also talk to women. And I know you talk as a broad audience to a broad audience because actually you are very passionate about the fact that HIV can affect anybody, and that message sometimes does get a little bit lost. And what is your kind of main focus around some of your campaign work within HIV?
So my main focus with my message is HIV is an acronym, and the first letter is H, which stands for human. So it can affect all humans. And I do think that women in general get lost, and the heterosexual community gets lost within even testing, because there's a stigma around, like, oh, well, it's for gay people. Like, I'm not going to get it. Or, like, why should I get it? And I do feel, even with some of my friends in my community that are HIV positive, that are straight, they kind of perpetuate the stigma by not even wanting to talk about it, because of the outside noise that, oh, it's because you must be gay, right? And they just don't even want to deal with that. And it's just, it's infuriating to me to see the people that I love in this sadness, anguish, whatever word, and whatever this, I mean, there's probably multiple words that can describe that feeling, but it's just, it's bogus. And I just really want people to understand that testing is for everyone. People have different lives and they do different things, but like, one of my messages I try to push is like, we go to the dentist, or should be going to the dentist twice a year to get our teeth cleaned. Like, we should be getting tested twice a year. Let's just, put it on that, maybe. And then, sorry, let me slow down. Like, getting tested and having some marker of when I should get tested, like once a year, twice a year. If you're in care and then you are talking to your provider, they can also help determine how often, if you need to get tested more or less or whatnot. Like if you're celibate, like maybe you shouldn't be getting tested every whenever, but then again, it's not necessarily sexual activities, like which breaks out of the stigma of it being like a sexual based disease. And because people do needle drugs and not necessarily for drugs like street illicit drugs, people do steroids, like people go and are in the gym using steroids, and that's, you know, people don't really, they just, I don't think people should pigeonhole
Yeah.
anything. It's like knowledge is power. And then also taking responsibility for yourself to get tested is so important, because how do you know, how can you like, did you ask your partner if they're HIV positive, they've been tested? Like if you're going to ask these questions, which you should be asking these questions, or maybe not, there are hookups, like anything, like just it's just important to get tested. Knowledge is power.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is, obviously as BioSure being, self-test experts within HIV, this is something that we found that, that there needs to be a little bit more focus around how we empower people to feel much more free about talking about, testing and, STIs in general. But also the fact that, especially the heterosexual community and women in particular, of what what focus we can take as women to take control and feel empowered that we are taking control of our health. And testing for HIV is one of those things that we should do to make sure that we know our status. And within maybe some of your friendship groups or people, your peers, and women that have HIV, how do you feel that they're responding to what's happening at the moment? Do you feel that there's actually more women that are taking that control, or do you feel there's still more education that is required?
I mean, I definitely am an optimist, and I think that people are, getting out there. There's more medications, that we now have people on television like advertising drugs. I've never seen that before, and I love it. And it's getting louder, and it's unfortunate that HIV hasn't declined since like it started. Like it's still with us, and I I feel women are speaking up more, especially within online. I've had people reaching out, and I do think there's more. Um, yeah, women are speaking up. Like it's not just the the diverse group of people that are HIV positive are coming forward, and I think it's wonderful, and it's so necessary for people to see that it's not. This is what HIV looks like. HIV looks like anything.
Yeah, no, and I think this is one of the reasons we want to talk about International Women's Day, because women are generally taking control of a lot more than ever before in the situations that we are found in. And I think with sexual health, we've got a lot of very strong women that are happy to talk about how to overcome problems, how to talk to your partner, how to be responsible in situations where normally you could just let things go. I think, and a lot of that, I think, as well, is just about more education, more knowledge, and feeling just the confidence to say, this is the way that I enjoy myself, I move forward, and not to put it, we very much of the ilk that, people that are testing or having great sex, this is somebody that is empowered in their sexual life, they are having fun, and to take, to increase the amount of fun that they can have in their sexual life is knowing that they're safe, and then that they're protected, or that they are, they know their status, they know their partner status, and it just gives them that much more freedom. I mean, do you feel that that's kind of on the right lines that we can talk about? Because sometimes I think, when we talk about HIV as well, we talk, it's obviously quite a serious subject, but actually, we're all human beings, and actually we all like to enjoy ourselves, and therefore we should, maybe use tools to make sure that we can continue to have that happy, long life, and not make it so soured or stigmatized.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's so empowering with U equals U and having HIV no longer, well, I'll back it up. U equals U, undetectable equals untransmittable. So being on HIV medications, I can't transmit my virus to anyone. And I think that's the most powerful, amazing breakthrough within HIV since I've been living with it since '86, to know that I can take HIV off the table. I can ensure my partners and, their family, if they're educated, that they don't have to be scared of me. Like, and I understood that, like, dating and growing up, like, it's understandable that someone that I like has a person in their life that is uneducated and ignorant and has feelings of care for the person that I like. And I can't fault them for that. I can't fault them for being uneducated. That's just where they're at, and they're trying their best and they're acting in care. And I didn't have that ability, that scientific mic drop amazingness to be like, well, I can't transmit my virus at all. Like, the CDC understands it. Now I have that. And that's so powerful. And I personally, if I'm in a relationship and it's monogamous, like, knowing that, like, I don't need to have condoms is fantastic. Like, it makes me feel like I'm a normal person, which, you know, what a great thing to feel like. Like, I can do a normal activity. I can only imagine the feeling of contracting HIV in my life, and then, feeling like I couldn't have sex again. Like, I mean, the first time I had sex with a condom, without a condom, like, it's a whole new world for me because I never had it before, but then I can't have it. Like, that's an okay thing to have. Like, that's wonderful. But at the same time, like, I know I have HIV. What does my partner have? Like, there's that whole step to know, like, have they been tested? So try to use a condom with them before I know. So I do, I'm a boring monogamous person. Like, so if I'm in a relationship and it's good, like, I won't use condoms, but I think it's very important to know that U equals U. Yes, that makes me no longer, a threat to
You
people
take
with my.
control by taking your medication. You take control by educating your partner. You are, taking control of a situation to help,
Yeah,
move this kind of, or create a movement forward, and saying, it's okay. It's okay if you do have HIV. It's okay to make sure you don't contract HIV, because obviously that is the clear message that you want to kind of move forward with. But should you have HIV or should you contract HIV, there's great medication. It actually means, you, like you say, U equals U, you're undetectable, you can't pass it on, and that you are safe. And I think these conversations need to just be had a lot more, so that people just don't fear, or feel the fear, basically.